Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is your girl, August Crenshaw, coming in here for your daily nugget. And so I've already said it before, but I never know when someone's a newcomer to the YouTube page. So, yeah, I'm a business coach and sales coach, and I deal with strategy mindset and, of course, sales, since I'm a sales coach. And what that basically means is that I'm not limited to just only talking about business because the things that we deal with as women in business, it attacks us in every single area. So that's in our mindset, in our health. We deal with shit with our kids, shit with our spouses, and so on and so forth. And so I am here today to talk about some things that are going on inside of my group that I have. And the group is called Badass 365. Now it's inside of my community, which is called AC Live for Authentic Collective. And so there's one group in there. So as business owners, what do? We have a tendency to get so caught up and so bogged down about running our business that a lot of us we don't make health a priority until health makes us make it a priority. And for a lot of us, that means that we also end up getting pulled away from our business because of what's going on with us. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody. And so I'll see women and they'll be like, yeah, I'm going to make my health a priority. I'm on top of it. I'm going to do, what I'm supposed to be doing. And then they don't. And so I want to talk about something for you to gauge how serious you are with your health, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom and a working home. I mean, a mompreneur and you have your kids at home. This is something that's really, really crucial because think about it. As a homeschooling parent, we also are responsible for our children's physical activity. And so for those of you that know me, I'm on my journey to get the fullness of my body back. And so that's why this whole thing was birthed, because as a business owner, I don't want to let this shit slide. And so too many of us, we do that. And so we can make our mouths say anything, but there are always litmus tests out there to see what you really feel. And so I'm going to rewind it back just a little bit for me, because when I was growing up, gym was normal. You play flag football, you play soccer, you play baseball, you play tennis. You had to do the yearly check for how fast you ran the mile. It was an expectation that you were active. Kids were outside all the time. We rode bikes, we were on skateboards, we went to the park. It was common to walk everywhere, and it's so funny now because I'll see Uber scooters like in the heart of it, ATL. It's like nobody's walking. And so I'm around people a lot more often that are overweight and that are business owners. And I'm like, this shit has got to stop. But guess what? When I was younger, weight wasn't an issue because I was highly active. And so a lot of people, what we decide to do when we decided we're going to get in shape is that I'm going to start working out again and I'm going to start eating right. But it's really not just the workout and it's not just eating now. It's also about your activity, being up and engaging. So earlier today, what I did is I did a 30-minute, dance workout. I usually do something like, I don't know if you guys heard of Conrad or P90X. I usually do something heavy. I like cardio, but I also love to hit weights. And so, but I love to dance. So I did this dance workout and my kids, they're at home with me. They did it too. Well, they wanted some snacks. And I'm like, yeah, let's go to the store. Now, I pretty much have got them trained because the last time I took them to the store, they thought we were going to do what daddy does and go to like the gas station and go get some chips and shit like that. And what I did is I had them walk with me to the local grocery store. And going there, when I say, what do you want? We go in by the produce section. So the first thing they do is like, oh, we want some oranges or apples. My son's a fan of grapes and so on and so forth. And we grab the healthy snacks. But I need you guys to understand it's 100 degrees in Atlanta right now. September is hot as fuck. I mean, like for real. It's just really, really hot. And so let me put this in perspective for you. My daughter is 6 and my son is 4. Now, what in the world does this have to do with me and health? Listen, ladies, a lot of times we say that we're not healthy because we don't have time, but everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, correct? And so if you make health a priority with your family, then it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I haven't spent quality time with my kids. Because usually when I'm doing a live video, they would have come in here within the first 30 seconds. They're not in here because they're like, can we get this far away from mommy as possible? They sitting down, I cut up their apples, they're eating them, and they're sitting down watching Netflix on their kids channel, and they're doing what it is that they do. But I'm telling you guys all of this stuff, but what does it all really boil down to? For me, it boils down to one crucial thing. You'll know that you're serious about health when it becomes generational. Because, ladies, it's time for us. This is what I used to watch. Even though I was already naturally athletic and I worked out a lot, I'd see my aunts and them go through their craze. And, it wasn't it was Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and something else that was popular back in the day. And I would know that they were trying to lose 20 pounds here and there. But it was never, ever this thing about, hey, August, you got a body like a brick house, which means that guess what? If you get overweight, it's going to your thighs first. And we don't need the jiggly thighs. You want them to stay tight and stay toned. So you want to do something like run, and you want to, be on your squats and, your butt lifts and all of that. They didn't do that. So I've always had like a very, very small upper body, a super duper small waist, like a traditional Coke size bottle. And even as a woman that is thicker, my body still follows those same contours. But I wasn't taught to govern or to respect my body. And a lot of you need to ask yourself, to get your kids to calm down, would you have, instead of walking, because we spend an hour. Oh God, don't pull a woman away from her business for an hour. There's copy to write. There's posts that you don't want to miss out on. You were on Facebook. Now you got to go on IG or check on LinkedIn, or you got to do a live video or send an email to your list. The majority of you, let's be honest, would you have really taken an hour, especially if you already did a 30-minute workout? Like I said, but for me, it's not just about saying that I worked out or I ate right for the day. It's about being active. That means you need to get up from your computer on a regular basis. I remember listening to Lisa Nichols once saying that one of the things that she would do is that every time she'd have to go to the restroom, she'd do like 25 squats. So she'd go in the bathroom, use the restroom, and okay, bam, 25 squats. Okay, so now she got, thighs of steel, bam. But there's always these, ingenious ways to do it. But I'm just also calling out the ladies to say, don't just do it for yourselves. Pass that down to your children. Now, whatever they do when they get older, that's different. But especially now, think about it. Our metabolisms were better when we were young. But there are a lot of fat kids now. And I'm not trying to be funny, but when I was coming up, it was always that one fat kid. Now it's always the one athletic kid. Most children today are obese, but that's because the shit's not real. And so this whole thing about eating living food, going organic, look, even if you can't go organic, you do need to eat living food. If you were to look at a documentary and see what grocery stores looked like beforehand, it was flat out produce. And they'll tell you that they can't do it that way anymore. And in order to feed all these massive amounts of people, we got to make this processed GMO stuff. But it's just not true. You know what? Let me see something. I was just double checking. I know that I see that there's somebody on here watching, but it just doesn't say you didn't. I was trying to see if there were any comments or something coming up, because God knows I didn't want to ignore you if you did say something. But anyway, and so what they're eating now is not the same thing. And so it's processed food, and who in the hell knew anything about gluten? You know what I'm saying? Now there's gluten and there's all these other things. And so considering the fact that there's an inferior food with a superior negative motive to wipe out the population, that's a little bit conspiracy theorist conversation, but I agree with it, whether you do or not, LOL. But how much more important is it for us to make sure that our children understand how important it is to be active? And also, not only that, but think about this. There are a lot of younger people in business that are sometimes when they get stuck, they're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because it's like, where is your creativity? Because when technology goes down, they fucking lose their mind. But see, I love the fact that I'm 43. That means that I can still remember black and white TVs. I still remember rotary dial phones, long extension cords. I remember when there was a lockbox and Cinemax and HBO didn't show, bad stuff on TV until after 9. You wouldn't even you barely see somebody kissing under the covers. I remember a lot of things. I remember when the first phone had an ugly green screen and it was analog. It took my phone to die on me. And when it was time to upgrade, that even when I used insurance, I had to get a camera phone. I was forced to get a camera phone. I know, a color screen. And then after the color screen, I was forced to get a camera phone. And so I'm very creative and innovative when things don't necessarily go the way that I want them to go in business. And so some of our kids, they're just not creative. As soon as they think go to the store, they be like, oh, well, like what if my husband's gone and he's in the car? Yes, because we only have one. We've decided money could be invested in something else instead of paying 2 car notes since I work from home. So I could have waited while he was gone till he came back, and our kids could have been like, oh, daddy needs to come home so we can go to the store. We didn't say shit like that when I was a kid. We got up and we went. And so there are a lot of things that this all ties in together. Everything is connected. So creative thought processes were higher in people that had to be innovative and more active. So I just came into the group. Yes, YouTube. This is also live on my channel, just to say, listen to my badass body women, 365, always loving our bodies and our sexy all year round. Make sure that you really show how serious you are about your health by being very serious about what you are allowing your children to see. So for those of you that are new to my channel that haven't really chimed in as much, because I just want to let you know you are more than welcome to come over to the Authentic Collective. If looking for another community where you will be able to, get with some like-minded individuals, no algorithms, no tricking, no pay to play. You just come, you do what you do, you connect with some beautiful women, and none of that hocus pocus stuff. So social media group, where you can post and have fun and all of that shit with a bunch of women who are just like high energy and really about their business. Okay. So I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Whoever joined me, thank you so much. A lot of y'all like to watch incognito. That's cool. But I'll be out here more. So, and if you want to come over after you sign up at aclive.co, come on over to Badass Body 365, because we're having real conversations like this. Everybody can talk about, here's my meal plan, here's my meal prep, and this is what I did, which is such good shit. I'm not saying it's not good shit, and I worked out today, and look at my abs, and look at my body. But let's get down to the psyche. I'm a mindset. I mean, I do a lot of mindset work as a coach. So when it comes to this area, I want to talk about the shit that's really bothering us. So I'm out of here. Deuces.